I'd like for you to know that the redeemed of the Lord is God's strategy for the takeover of the earth. There are prayers you pray that God may not give you the answer you desire because you are God's strategy.
You're welcome to God Seekers Network.
I want you to know that this page is dedicated as a prayer, word, and worship mode where genuine seekers of God can come. Please do like our videos. Also subscribe to our channel.
The manifestation of the sons of God. It is that God makes investment in your life and you become God's strategy. All right? You become God's decor. People see you, but they don't know what is behind you. Because they have said to him, get out of here. And he's okay. I'm going, but I'm not going. Because before you came, I already invested into someone. And so that one is going to be here. So there are prayers you pray that God may not give you the answer you desire because you are God's strategy. You are God's strategy. Right now, I don't know how many nations are represented in this place. Ordinarily, when people go for tourism and that kind of thing, Makurdi is not normally on that map. Say, man, I really want to travel next year. And if anywhere in the world you meet somebody in the US and they're like, man, I really need to travel next year. In Canada, I really need to travel next year. Whatever it is in your mind, I'm sure that Makurdi will not be an option. To say, this guy is so desperate to travel. Where does he want to go to? You'll be thinking of some exotic locations around the world. But you see, this is what happens when God plants a man in the oddest of places. And sometimes you want to run away because it is stiff and the land is hard and it is difficult and you are looking for greener pasture. I'd like for you to know that God is strong or weak in a place depending on his people in the place. And so I know that there are some of you that are planning to leave. In fact, some of us, I tell you a personal story. Some of us as a person, if it wasn't that God cornered some men, all right? There are two people that brought me up in the Lord. One of them had packed his bag and he had boarded a vehicle to leave our land, to go to Lagos. He was in the motor park. When God told him, where are you going? Where are you going? That was how God sent him back. Not knowing that shortly before that time, my father in the Lord, while he was serving somewhere in the east, one of the afternoons, I think it was, yes, while he was serving, all right, he sat down to eat food, swallow, food and soap. And he said, as he closed his eyes to pray over the food, God took him in a vision. And it took 2 hours before he came back to his consciousness. And in that vision, God showed him the dilapidated estate of the Igala nation and was asking him, will you go there for me? It was because of village boys like us that God didn't let those people leave the village. So when the man finished youth service, he already knew that his job was cut out for him. He went back into the village. And the other man that was on his way running to Lagos, God sent him back to the same village. That was how those that sat in darkness saw a great light. It is people that trap the essence and the presence of God in a place. It is people, it's the labors of people that soften ground. The place I came out of, that land that I came out of, my father and the Lord has shared that testimony, here in Makurdi before. Every missionary that came to that place with fire before him, none could survive. Because there was a lion. There was a lion that literally used to scare them out. And the scare is not in visions and dreams. The last missionary that left before he came, that one left with bruises all over his body. But the moment the attack happens and the lion vanishes, you can't pursue it. You can't see it physically. And now God sends this one too into the place. And he comes, and the lion also comes, because that was one of the ruling authorities over the land in the spirit. It is because those kinds of principalities, it's because those kinds of spirit beings exist. That is why God would not allow certain people live certain places. And there are some of you that will be wondering, why is it that God sends me always to the hard place, the hard place? You should actually wear that as a badge of honor. There are some people that God does not trust too much to let them see adversity. There are some persons that, you see, when you are going to war, they look for fit men. The people they conscript, they draft into the battle. They are men that are fit. And a lot of times, examinations are done, psychological, physical tests, and all of that is done to ensure eligibility before you are drafted into the corps. So the question this morning is this: are you one of the people that are the problems of the land? Because over every land, there are demons, there are pig headers, and there are these helpless people. And the helpless person becomes the strategy of Jesus only after Jesus has succeeded in his life.